This is Britt Carpenter on Usula Radio. Thanks for tuning in. I'm really stoked about today's show because it is a show I've been waiting for quite some time. I am sitting here today with Demetria Green. Hey, Demetria.
Hey, how are you?
I'm really well, thanks. How you doing?
I'm making it day
You're
by
making
day.
it day by day. That's good. That's good. Well, that's better than the alternative, I guess.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those of you who don't know Demetria is actually the morning show co-host or co-anchor on PHL 17 from
Yes.
4:55 to 9 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, 4:55.
I know. It could be 4:56, 4:57, 4:55. Yes.
4:55 every day.
Every day.
Are you a morning person?
I am now.
You-
Now that I have this job on PHL 17 Morning News, I am a morning person. But prior to that, I was always in the evenings. I was a night owl who would stay up to like 1, 2 in the morning. But now I'm waking up at 1, 2 in the morning.
Really? So prior to coming here to Philly, because this is your first job in Philly.
Yeah, this is my first job in Philly.
In
Yes.
Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Prior to that, I was in Huntsville, Alabama,
Okay.
and I was the evening anchor.
All
So we
right.
wouldn't get off of work until like 11 p.m. or maybe midnight. So this is just like a total reverse.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. If you had your preference, night or morning?
I would say morning because I have a lot of things that I can do right after I get off of work. So I can hit up the happy hour. Well, not anymore. I'm 8 months pregnant, so I can't do the happy hour anymore. But prior to that, I was able to do that stuff. And then just hang out with people, get bills paid, do all the boring
Right
stuff.
on. So you were in Huntsville, Alabama?
I was.
I had a friend who was stationed at Redstone
Arsenal.
Redstone, okay. Yes. I had a friend that was stationed there. Very small area.
Well, I came from Dothan, so prior to that was
Okay,
Dothan. That was
where
even
you-
smaller. So-
Where were you from originally?
I'm originally from Chicago. It's a suburb of
Oh.
Chicago, Illinois, called Frankfort.
Okay.
So I'm originally from there. So when I moved to Dothan, I was like, "Oh, this is so small." And then when I moved to Huntsville, I was like, "Oh, I'm in the big city."
And Dothan's in Alabama?
Dothan is in Alabama. It's right on the border between Alabama and Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. How many people is that?
not a lot. Not a lot of people at all, but that's all right.
What did you do in Dothan?
There, I was the reporter. I was also a producer. I was a photographer. Basically, whatever they needed to get done, they would call me.
So you were
And I would go do
multifaceted.
it. I did everything.
Wow.
Because I had to learn my skill set, you know?
And
Mix it up.
when was that?
I started in this about 2010.
Okay.
So 9 years ago.
9 years. So you started media 9 years. Where'd you go to school?
So I went to school at Florida A&M
Oh,
University. That was in
nice.
Tallahassee, but I
Yes.
studied business because I thought that was the way to go. So I did that. I hated every single moment of it. I was like, why am I doing this? I left there, graduated from there, and then I worked for about 4 or 5 years in finance. And I was like, I hate this as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I've always had a passion for journalism. I just didn't know how to go about it. So eventually one day I decided I was going to just take a leap of faith. I quit my job. Well, actually, I got fired. I got fired from my job.
That's a different story, though.
Exactly. I want to make it sound nice by saying I quit. I got fired from my job, and I said, well, if there wasn't a clearer sign, this is a sign, and I need to go ahead and pursue my dream of journalism. So I decided to work for the local station in Chicago. I did that for free for about a year. And while I was doing that, I also had to go back to school as well to get my master's. So I was working 3 jobs. I was working at the school, I was working at a local TV station, and at another TV station as well, like once I got off the other one, because I had to get some income.
Oh, my
Because here I
gosh.
am, I'm a college graduate,
Yeah.
not making any money.
Oh, my gosh. What? So your first job out of college wasn't in
No,
media.
no.
It was finance.
It was finance.
Finance for 5 years?
For 5 years.
So-
around 4 or 5.
4 or 5 years so you didn't go into this like at that age of that 22, 23, which, isn't a big deal, 4 or 5 years later. But
Right.
that's sort of, that's after that 25-year, shift. That's a shift.
It is a shift. Especially going in, and like you said, like everybody, when I went to Dothan, everyone was fresh out of school, and I'm like, I've done all that stuff. They're like, let's
Right.
go party after work. No, I've done that.
Right. Wow.
I'm ready to really hone in on my career.
That's admirable. That's really cool.
Thanks.
I love to hear something like that. I love to hear people who are able to take the career and change a little bit
Yeah.
there. So when you did all that production and everything, did you do that sort of that MMJ style stuff? Is that
I
what you
did. That's what I was.
Yeah.
The one-man band.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And Nick, your co-anchor in the morning, he did that as well.
He did too.
Yeah, and I think that's, once again, anybody who does something like that is really serious about their craft.
You have to be.
You know, it shows you want it. You know, so you're in Dothan, from Dothan, Huntsville.
Yeah.
And then from Huntsville.
I got the big call.
Really? So within 9 years, you land in the Philadelphia market.
Right.
Wow.
It was so exciting. I was crying.
Were you really?
Because there was a lot going on. I had just gotten married. So I was only married for about 2 months.
Oh, my gosh.
I got the call, and then I'm thinking, okay, am I going to leave my husband here in Alabama to go pursue my dream? And then I saw how much they were paying. I was like, bye. Just kidding.
No, it's cool. I bet, you know, it's Philly. Come on.
Right.
Philly market is, I hate, it's a dream market. It really should be for a lot of people. It's a known market.
It is.
You know, Philly has a really strong sense of community in the city. So that's awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
So you were married 2 months prior.
2 months.
And he followed you, of course.
Well, not initially.
Oh.
Because he wasn't able to find a job up here. So the closest place that he could get was in Virginia, and that's where he currently is now. But it took him about 6 months to even find that. So, in those 6 months, that's when I found out I was pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
It's like my life is just so crazy.
So 2 months, move. So you came on your own.
Right.
Then he got to Virginia, so he's got a little closer.
Right.
Got pregnant, long distance.
Yeah.
But not, you know, long distance.
Exactly. We were close for just one moment in time.
It's all it takes. It's all it takes. One moment. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow, this is a cool story.
Yeah.
I love this because it actually just shows like people's determination and, you know, wanting to pay. So you've been here by yourself.
I'm still here by myself.
How has it been? You know, you are 8 months pregnant.
Right.
How's it been going through this with, you
Honestly, it's been kind of rough because I'm older and I'm having this. They consider me to be high risk pregnancy.
Really?
And I've been having a couple of issues, so that is kind of rough trying to do it by myself. However, I must say I have some great coworkers, and I'm not just saying it to say it. Like they call, they check up on me. Hey, if you want me to come to the doctor with you, I would do this.
That's awesome.
And I'm just so appreciative because I haven't really had that before. I haven't really had a place where my coworkers feel like family. And that's just so good because you just can't recreate that. You know,
That's
like what you
awesome.
see on TV is real.
You can tell. The chemistry is amazing.
Exactly. Even when Nick gets on my nerves. I love you, Nick. But sometimes we get on each other's nerves. And that's all real.
Oh my gosh. And he'd be the last person I think would get on somebody's nerves.
I know.
but-
He's a good guy. I'm just messing with him. I pick on him all the time.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So you really, that's a strong person. He's a very strong person.
Really?
Yeah, I would think so. Come on. 2 months, married. Okay, you take off, you come to Philly.
Right.
You know, you have to do what you do for your career. Your husband's supportive, of course.
Very supportive.
You know, very supportive because
grateful.
he's moving his way up to Virginia.
Right.
You know, and you're doing this, you know, and you do have that good family. I mean, I love the show, of course, as you know. I'm a huge fanboy.
Thank you.
Of the show. It's a great chemistry.
Yeah.
Good relationships.
It is.
And so this is the first time in your career that you've had this type of bonds.
Exactly. And it's amazing.
Is it? I was saying, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Because starting off, I always felt like the mother hen because I was so much older than the rest of my coworkers. So like they would come to me for advice, and it was like, okay, whatever. In Huntsville, I was starting to build that kind of relationship, but then that's when I got the call here. So it's like, okay, well, let me just go try my hand in Philadelphia and see what happens.
And you like Philly?
I love it.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Philly prior to moving here? No.
No, I have not.
What was it about Philly then? What was it about like, hey, I want to go there?
It was just because, like you said, this is a dream market and this is where everybody wants to go. And as I started to do a little bit more research and just look at the history, and then when I came to visit, the people were real cool. I was like, oh, I like this. The restaurant scene is amazing.
Oh, the food.
Exactly.
Sure.
I love art. The museums are great. So I'm like, why not? Because it reminds me so much of my hometown. And that's why I think it really, really pulled at my heartstrings.
You know, I've heard that before. I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, Chicago and Philly are very similar.
Very
You know, people who've lived in both places. And, you know, I know Chicago only because when I was in the corporate world, our main headquarters was out there, Hoffman Estates area.
Okay,
somewhere
very
like
familiar with that.
Yeah, okay. And I wasn't a huge fan of Chicago.
That's fine.
And I think it's probably because I never had the chance to really experience it on a personal pleasure side.
Okay.
It was always sort of through work or whatever. Yeah. So, but I would love to. I would love to check it out.
Okay, let me know.
Yeah?
Let me know when you want to go back.
Did you miss Chicago?
I do. I miss my family.
You miss your family? They're all there?
They're all still there.
Okay, so that's relatively close, though.
Uh-huh. It's not too far.
but far enough.
But far enough, exactly.
enough.
Especially
Yeah.
around the holidays, because you're like, oh, okay, this is happening. I want to be with my family because we usually do this on Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's like, oh, I have to book a flight. Oh, wait, I can't travel anymore.
Oh.
It's so good.
So with Thanksgiving coming, what are you doing?
So my stepbrother, he actually lives here. He moved here about 6-7 months ago.
Okay.
And so he's going to cook for everybody. So,
Oh, nice.
so I'm going to go visit him.
Oh, awesome.
So it should be fun.
Nice. Do you like turkey?
I cannot eat turkey.
You cannot because of being.
Because I just gave it up.
You just
I
gave it
gave
up.
up turkey, red meat, and pork.
Oh, okay.
So I eat chicken and fish.
I did that, and now I gave up the chicken, and then I gave up the fish.
Really?
And now I'm just at the vegetarian stage.
Okay, now how did you give up the chicken? Because that's one thing that I'm struggling with.
Oh my gosh.
For 3 years, I've been trying to do it.
It's really funny because like I'm like a big chicken wing person. Like I love my wings. I love chicken breast.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
And I just I was never a huge pork fan, never a huge red meat fan, none of that. But it was just one day something just snapped, and it was like no more, nothing, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I don't know why, and it was just like it wasn't appealing to me.
Okay.
So then I sort of just like was like, oh, so then I did the lobster and the shrimp route, and then that wasn't appealing anymore. Now I'm just a vegetarian, not vegan, just vegetarian. I love my cheese too much.
Okay.
I like cheese too much. I'm not a huge dairy fan, but geez, I need my pizza. Come
Right. I
on.
know. Being here, you have to love it.
Absolutely. But so you did. How long have you been without red meat?
I think about 5 years, 6 years.
Okay.
It's been about 6 years.
Did you feel better?
I did feel better
Yeah.
about myself. I felt lighter in a
Yeah.
weird way. I don't know how you said, like when I'm eating the food, I used to feel so heavy and it used to just kind of bog me down.
Right.
But now I really don't feel that as much. Maybe it's a mental thing. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's when you said to me, how did you stop it? I think it was a mental thing. It really just psychologically, it was like this connection.
Yeah.
And plus that, I was at the time, I was like, I want chickens and I want to get some,
Exactly.
the eggs and stuff. And
Right.
so I don't know. I don't really know the whole why, but yeah, that's it.
How long have you been a vegetarian?
I've been a vegetarian off and on since college.
Oh, wow.
And-
That's a long time.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of rude. I didn't mean to say it like that. It was a compliment in there.
Yeah. Is it time for that break yet? Oh, jeez. No, so that I actually became vegetarian back in college when it was like my freshman year.
Okay.
Because I hated the college, and that was actually 1985, 86.
Okay.
And I hated the cafeteria food because back then it wasn't like now what they get in the cafeteria food in colleges.
They're
and
so
stuff.
spoiled now.
They really are. And it's like if you didn't like what was there, you ate cereal.
Exactly. Exactly.
Or peanut butter and jelly or whatever. And I just was like, none of the meat was ever appealing to me that they were serving at the cafeteria. And so I just started eating salads because I love salads.
Right.
And before you knew it, then chicken came back around.
Uh-huh.
And so, it's been a few years, off and on. But
Okay.
it's been a hardcore 7 year, vegetarian would be 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am really proud of you.
That's a chicken, yeah. Yeah.
That
thanks.
is awesome.
Once in a while I miss it.
I bet you
dream-
do.
Yeah, I do.
Especially
I do.
nowadays with the holidays coming up.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it, I really
Sorry.
want
Okay,
one.
let's stop. Salads, tomatoes, yes.
Screw that. No. Oh my gosh. Plus, now being pregnant too, that's probably good for you as well, like to not have all that red meat
It
and everything
is.
like that. But you need the protein.
But I do need that protein
Absolutely.
in there.
You like eggs?
I love eggs.
That's another thing. I like eggs. So I can never,
Mm-hmm.
be vegan.
Yeah.
I like the eggs. Eggs are
They're
cool.
so good.
Yeah, they
Boil
are.
them, fry them, whatever.
Yeah, no. Now we want breakfast.
I know.
This isn't good to get an 8-month pregnant woman and an overweight middle-aged man talking about food.
This is a great conversation for me. I'm loving this.
I'm thinking about where I'm going when we're done.
Exactly. Me too. You gave me these chocolate pretzels. I want to open those soon.
Open them. I had to open them between the drugstore and here, so I couldn't wait. But so you've been in Philly for a little bit.
Yes.
It's been home. The morning show is doing so well.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I enjoy it. The chemistry, like I said, is amazing. You guys come up with. You guys are yourselves, which is
Yeah.
interesting. You don't see that too much on TV today.
No, you don't.
You don't get a chance to see somebody using their own personalities to come through. You know, I mean, for example, like in Good Morning America, you never would see George Stephanopoulos. Or maybe there's a personality, who knows? Very stoic, you know what I mean?
Right.
You don't see, but with you guys, it's genuine.
Yeah.
You know, you guys pick on each other.
We do.
You guys mess up. And
We always do. That's every day.
and you actually, you know, use that to your advantage.
Right.
How does that feel going from like an arena of where you were doing the news and being a reporter to now you can be yourself a little bit?
I think it's been the hardest transition. Just to be honest with you, because back at my other station, like you said, I was the evening reporter. So they didn't have time for jokes. They didn't even want me to say that I was leaving because they didn't want to know too much about your personal life. So you just do a quick blurb and then you go back to the news and get to the stories. Wow. So coming here when I have so much freedom, I really wasn't sure, okay, well, how much of my personality do I show? Do I be the full Demetria? Do I not? And that's been the hard. I still struggle with that at times because it's been grained into my head. Okay, after a story, you don't give your opinion. You just move on to the next thing. And now my boss is in my ear. Okay, give an opinion. How do you feel about this? And I'm like, I don't know. So that's just been the hardest thing, just trying to like really be myself and be free.
That's awesome though. So wait, so Matt is talking in your ear? Is that
Yeah,
he
talks to us in
yeah,
our
he's
ear.
talking to you saying, hey, give an opinion. Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't do it all the time
No?
now. He doesn't do it all the time.
No, not
but
all,
a lot
but
of the
he'll
time he's
tell
in
you.
it. He's like, okay, D, come on, get into the conversation. And I'm like, okay.
Have you ever said anything and been like, oh, I should have said that?
Yeah, I did. And I got in trouble and got a text about it. And then someone tweeted about it. And I'm like, okay, can we just let this die down? Yeah, I was very embarrassed. And I can't believe I actually said that on air. But it was the truth. Because like you said, you know, I'm trying to be me. And this is something that I do. But it was actually very dangerous and something that authorities say do not do. And I'm like, yeah, I do this all the time. And my coworkers, they're all looking at me like, Demetria, I cannot believe you just said that on air. So I got in trouble for it. But we move on. You live and you learn. And I will never say that on air again.
But you're also human, though. And I think that's what people have to understand. You're human.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're on TV or you're in the media or in the public eye, whatever sense is, people tend to forget that, you know, at the end of the day, we're all the same.
Right.
We're still human. We make mistakes.
We do.
We may not do what's right for you as may not be right for me.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It is okay.
You know, and at least people are talking about you.
I know, right? I don't care how, but yes.
It works. So use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. You know, I had a friend reach out to me. He got his first like negative comment one day.
Oh,
and he's
no.
like, what do I do? I'm like, rejoice. I'm like, be happy. I'm like, because now people are talking about you.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter. And he was like, oh, you're right.
Exactly. You have to change that perspective. You really do.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And this conversation has been going great, but we're going to go off to our first break and we'll be back real soon. I am sitting here with Demetria Green from PHL 17. Thanks for joining me this morning, Demetria. And the rest of you, this is Britt Carpenter with Be a Voice on USLA Radio. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. This is Britt Carpenter, Be a Voice on USLA Radio. Thanks for joining me today. I am sitting here today with Demetria Green. Hey, Demetria.
Hey.
How are you?
Doing well.
Awesome. I just want to say, hey, D. You know?
You can say D, Demi, Dem, whatever.
Do they call you Demi?
Yeah, they
Demi.
call me Demi and
Demi.
Dem at work.
And Dem. Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Depends on if they're mad at me. Dem. I'm like, yes. Okay, sorry. I'm going to never do that again.
That's awesome. You know, I always, like, when I first, you know, get to know somebody and I get to, you know, be able to sit down and have these types of conversations, you know, I always come up with a lot of, like, why questions.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, you as a reporter, you
Yeah.
know, why? You know? Out of everything you could have transitioned to, why the communication side, reporting, journalism?
That's a good question. Because I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid, and I used to love it. And I'm like, oh, that is so cool. Like how they can come into my neighborhood, tell the story about what's going on in the area, and then get a lot of other people to care about it at that point. I'm like, that is so amazing how you can use this medium to do that. And I felt like when I was in business at first, I wasn't helping as many people. Well, I take that back because I did help people, and that's why I got in trouble because I was supposed to do sales, and I'm like, this is not a good sale for you. You do not need to go with our company. You need to go with this one because they're offering a better deal. So that's how I got fired. But I've always been the type of person who wants to help you, and so I wanted to do something like this. Just like really attracted me, and I never thought I was going to be on air. I thought I was going to be behind the scenes, like doing the camera work and stuff. So that's why when I decided to go back to school, I was studying for that. So it was like master's in film arts or something. So I was doing like the behind the scenes, helping to write scripts, helping to do that part. And then they said, okay, well, let's try to get you in front of it. And I'm like, I don't think I need to do this. But I decided to give it a chance anyway.
That's amazing. That's so cool to hear. I mean, you pursued your passion.
Yeah.
You know, you went for it.
I did.
Did you ever do reporting in the field?
I did.
You did?
When I was in Dothan and when I was in Huntsville, I did some reporting.
Because you did the MMJ. You did all your own. You had to do everything.
You have to do
Did you
all.
like that?
I did.
Yeah.
Because you meet so many different people. Like now I feel like I'm kind of stuck behind a desk. And the only way I meet new people is if they come to me. And I feel like the best way to get to know your city is to be out in the city and to do stuff. And when you're reporting, like you meet so many different types of people, not just on your stories, but other folks see a camera and they come over to you and they want to talk to you.
Oh, of course.
Like, I have a cousin who has this going on. I'm like, oh, okay, cousin. Yeah. But that's how you meet people and you get to learn more about yourself as well, like how you respond to things and just get to talk to the city and just really feel the vibe of it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's funny because you say that the camera attracts people.
It does.
And it attracts all people.
I know.
And when you see like a live broadcast, you see like the stalkers in the background, like waiting around because they want to talk to that person.
Exactly.
And you're that person.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me.
Did you ever go anywhere and people are like, hey?
So it happened recently when I was over at Chick-fil-A and I'm just talking and I'm just loud. I'm like, yeah, I would tell her this, that, and the other, just talking to my friend. And then a guy comes over like, oh, I recognize you from PHL 17. Then I had to straighten up. I'm sorry. I'm like, yes, that is me. Hi, how are you? Because I was just like in my own little world. You know how it is when you talk to friends who haven't talked to you in a while.
Well, it's, once again, it's like, you're supposed to be able to be human.
Right.
And it stinks that you might have to like put up that air outside a little bit,
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
bit.
Not a lot, a little bit. But yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Even like when I first started, when I got out of college, I taught for a little bit. And
really? What did you teach?
I taught everything from K to 8, but then I ended up teaching associate's degree level.
Okay.
I was English, but then then I taught psychology, English.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was more like into like the liberal arts.
I like that. I like the psychology aspect of that.
I love psychology. I love teaching psychology. It was really cool because it was for a business college.
Okay.
And it was an associate's degree business college.
Nice.
So it was 2-year. And it was really cool because these were students who wanted to be there.
Right.
It wasn't like, of course it was elective, but to see them, like, the light bulbs go on at the age of, like, 19, 20, even the returning students at 30 or 40 or 50, teaching psychology and applying it to practical life skills.
Right.
It was so cool.
I know.
And plus it gets inside somebody's head and be able to, like, really play with games now.
So silly.
You say silly, I say truthful. No,
but that has to be
joking.
so rewarding.
It was, but, then of course in my eyes, I saw dollar signs and I wanted to move up the ladder and then go into like management and make the big bucks and hate life and gain 100 pounds and...
Stop it. I was following you too until you said the 100 pounds. I'm like, no.
No, but anyway, it's not about me. This is about you. But no, I get it. We take our different paths in life.
We do.
We try them, and you're content. You could tell that. You could see the genuine happiness.
Yeah.
I think you do well behind the desk.
Oh,
I think you do well. And, you get to eat well.
Oh, my goodness. We're eating all the time.
Oh, my gosh. You get to eat really well.
Especially today. We had like a leftover turkey. Like they were trying to find like new ways to take the turkey from Thanksgiving and how you can create it into a new dish. So we had like barbecue turkey sandwiches. She had like this, I can't think of what it is. Not the poached eggs. What is it called? Eggs Benedict?
Eggs Benedict, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
she had
poached.
that with the poached eggs.
Yes.
And then she had the turkey and then stuffing. as well. So it was like all one big sandwich. And it was so good. I'd eat the turkey.
Right. I was going to ask you that. So, like, when it comes to the food segments like that, you're like, oh, no, you have to take mine without the turkey or the red meat.
Sometimes I do.
Or
And I hate doing that, but it's like I have to be true to myself. When I first started here, they wanted me to do a pork segment. And I was like, I know good and well that I don't eat pork, but I want to keep my job. And I had just started. Like, they're not going to let you go. Well, they could let you go in a week. But like, as I say that, I'm like, they could. But I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and take a bite. So I took a bite, and I just felt so bad about myself. I'm like, Demetria, you cannot do this. Like, you really, really have to let them know. So then I told them, and they were just so receptive because I thought they were going to keep me out of, like, all of the other food segments. But they're like, no, it's okay. We'll just try to work around it.
No, it's great.
And
You
they
get all
have
the good
been.
ones, like, like Kim Wright and her bunk cakes.
I know, oh, my goodness. I love when she comes on.
But that's awesome. And you should be true to yourself. And I'm glad they were receptive because that's a personal choice. I mean, let's face it, in today's society, it's all about personal choice.
It is.
And people are speaking out all over.
They
They're being a voice.
really are.
So be that voice for yourself.
I like how you said that, being a voice.
You like that? I throw that in there every once in a while.
I like that. Get your branding on.
Little subliminal branding. I got a few of those.
I like it.
Well, yeah, but so when you were growing up as, a little kid, you said that you sort of looked at the TV and the reporters and you saw that, but it wasn't that first true calling because you went business.
Yeah.
So what was that box you checked as a kid that said, when I grow up, I really want to be...
Well, it was something with this. Like,
it was.
I knew it was something with a microphone.
Okay.
So when I was, do I want to tell this story? Yeah, I'll say it real quick.
Yeah, you do. That's what you're here for. Tell that story. Be a voice.
No, be a voice. Let me use my voice. But when I was in high school, it was our senior year in high school, we had this group called Apply Business. And basically what we had to do is come up with a company that we ran ourselves. We bought stock in it and everything. And so we decided to make T-shirts, but it was only for the senior class. So we had like this big event, and it was only for seniors who were in this big event. I don't know what was going on, talent show or something. And I remember there was a lot of downtime. So I went to my principal. I'm like, hey, can I make an announcement, please? Because we have this Apply Business. And he's like, yeah. Just get them to shut up. I'm like, okay. So I grabbed the mic, and I don't know what it was. It was something about grabbing that microphone and then just having the power to command like everyone's attention. Yeah. I mean, because they really stopped what they were doing to listen to what I had to say. And of course, I messed it up, but it doesn't matter. But they were still listening to me.
Nobody else knew that.
No one else knew that. But it was just like in that moment, I just knew, hey, this is what I want to do, something with the microphone. However, I could not convince my parents that this is what it was to do. So they were like, we're going to send you to school, because I was the first person in my family to go to college.
Really?
Yeah. Like, we're going to send you to school, and you are going to major in business. The end. I was like, okay. So that's how I got into business.
So they sort of bursted the bubble a little bit there.
Yeah, in a way. But, I trust them. I'm so grateful for that experience.
You learn the business side of life, though.
And that's what I was going to say as well.
And not many people do. And I say, it's sad. Like, I went to college for education and English.
Okay.
I wanted to go for art, but my dad said to me, and what's going to pay the bills?
Yep, that's what mine said.
Yeah,
Were they brothers related or something?
Probably. It must be. He probably has a lot more, and he'd probably say the same thing. But, it's interesting because once you start to pursue that passion and you find that niche, it really makes you a different person, or maybe makes you the person that you always were.
It does.
It just makes you feel so much better about things.
It does.
And speaking of that, you recently took yourself back to the classroom, not to learn, but to talk, didn't you?
I did.
You did. Tell me a little bit of that, because
often.
I see you do that quite often. You post that you're in a classroom talking to students. What is that attraction there? What is that wanting to give back?
Well, I used to teach also.
Oh, you did? What did you teach?
I know.
You were holding out on me when I was back there.
Because your story was so good.
Oh my gosh, but it wasn't about me once again.
I'm just so used to always pumping up others. I don't know. I used to teach public speaking and introduction to oral communications.
I was public speaking as well.
Hey!
Yeah. And that was a lot of people's fear.
It is. Their biggest fear.
And it was so odd to even see the jockiest of jock, or the most popular of girls sit there, who when they were getting in front of the class, it was like, exactly, sweats, Did you like that?
I loved it.
What?
I really loved it. I was nervous at first because I didn't think that these folks were actually listening to me. Because what experience did I really? And this was when I was in Dothan. I started off doing there, but every city I've moved to, I've had the opportunity. I have not done that yet here in Philly, but
Really?
I will. It will happen soon. I know I'm going to get on with the college. I just have to put it out there, put it out to the universe, and it'll come. But yeah, so it was just really, really so gratifying to see them, especially at the end of the semester.
Mm-hmm.
When they start off in the beginning, they're like stuttering, oh, I can't get this. And then by the end, they have it all together. Or maybe they don't have it all together, but they have some of the skill sets that they need,
Right.
and they know that they can accomplish that. And that was a great feeling. So that's why I like to go back to the schools and talk to the kids. I'm like, hey, you can do this, and encourage them, and just try to give them those things that I wish that somebody would have given me when I was younger.
That's awesome, and I love it, and I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like somewhere down the line, like I was deprived of that, or I was gypped.
Exactly. It's like, where was my mentor? Where was she?
Where was that person that walked through the door and I was like, I want to do that?
Exactly.
You know, and I think that needs more, you know, the career choices.
It
And,
does.
you know, speaking of, I mean, you have several. You've had several career changes.
I guess I have.
That's all right. That's totally okay. You know?
And I probably have several more too. After this interview, they're gonna be like, "Okay, Demetria, you want to teach more than this?"
We just won't tell them that you're on. You know. I'll tell you what, though. You know, and they better be happy about it. I had Jenna on. I had Nick
know.
on. Getting Kelsey on. Hopefully next
Oh,
week.
are you?
Yes.
Oh, I love Kelsey.
Talking about
She is a firecracker.
somebody who loves her job in the field like that. Yes, she is.
Yes, she. Oh, that lady. I love her.
I got to tell you, she. The only thing that I really was like, okay, you got to calm down, Kelsey. She was picking on her boyfriend, fiance, about the vacuum
The
cleaner.
vacuum cleaner and cleaning.
Yeah. And
Yes.
she was picking on him. I'm like, excuse me, but that would be my pride and joy right about now, too. I would be
Yeah.
with the vacuum cleaner. She says, what is wrong with you guys?
And he had that house sparkling too.
Hey, he can go and do mine, but I love vacuum cleaners. And I had just got a new one, too, that weekend. So it was like,
He's like my brother.
yeah, I feel your pain.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my gosh. So you enjoy going into what else do you enjoy doing? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Well, lately I haven't been doing much. just honest. But before, when I first moved up here, I was trying to go to like all the restaurants that were opening and just see like different things that were going on. Just make sure I'm out of the house.
Nice.
So-
getting out, meeting people, getting active.
That's what I was trying to do.
What kind
And
of
then
food you like
I
the
slowed
most? Then you slept.
I like Italian.
Me too.
Yeah, it's
Pasta.
so good. It is so good. I didn't know that Philly was known for their Italian food.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, one of my favorite places in the city, Giorgio's.
Okay. I haven't been
Very
there
good.
yet.
Yeah, really good. Giorgio on Pine. Really good.
Okay.
There's a lot of good. Where's your favorite Italian?
Giuseppe and Sons.
Okay.
I love them.
Oh my gosh, your face lit up.
I know,
You're
sorry.
like-
I smile too much, so I apologize if
Well,
I do it. I'm trying to stop.
You know, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you. I was watching this morning, of course, and you were just sitting there and just had to smile, smile the whole time.
I do that.
And you just do it, don't you?
I
It's
do.
not like it's even like a fake at all. It just
I know.
happens. That's not bad.
Yeah, but some people think it's fake. They're like, stop being fake. I'm like, no, when I'm nervous, I'm smile. When I'm happy, I'm smile. When I'm sad, I'm smile. So it's just
But
something
you
always-
smile, and that's so inviting.
Yeah.
It's so inviting for somebody that's
For
on
some.
the news. Well, and especially, you know, let's face it, sometimes you're not giving all positive news.
Exactly.
You know, and it's hard to smile after giving, you know,
Exactly.
devastating news or sad news or something along those lines. So I really think, you know, you do a good job with that. You've got it. Yeah. Like I said, you know, the whole energy of that whole show is just so cool.
so kind.
Yeah, I know. I try. So what's going to happen when the baby comes? You going to stay here? Is mom going to come out or?
So when the baby comes, I have my mom who's going to come here for 2 weeks. Then I have my husband's mom who's going to be here for 2 weeks. And then I have my father and my stepmom who will be here for 2 weeks. So I don't even know if I'll spend time with this baby at all. But but as of right now, that's the plan. We're still trying to work out the maternity leave, like how much time I should take off. We still haven't decided that. But my plan is to stay here in Philly. My heart is here.
Hey, well, that's awesome that they want to come here and help out.
Exactly.
Now, will your husband get any type of paternity leave with
He actually is. He's going to have
he?
2 months off.
What?
Yeah, he was able to save up a lot of comp time, so he's going to be able to be here for 2 months. And so I'm grateful for that. But it's kind of weird because it's like, I'm not used. I'm at least living by myself now.
I'm gonna say you're
So
going.
it's like
You're gonna have him, the baby, your mom, his mom, your dad, his wife. You know,
it's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna be a lot. But
at the end of the week, you're gonna be like, get the hell out.
Can I go back to work? But it's gonna be interesting.
At the rate it's going, you know what? They would behoove themselves there at PHL to start their own little daycare.
And you know what? Seriously though, we thought about that. We're like, what if we bring in a nanny or somebody who could take care of our kids while we're at work, and we'll all just split up the costs? Because all of us have kids who are under one, so it would be a good idea.
Yeah, look at that. You know, options. Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we're getting shy here on time for second segment, so we're going to end at this point. We're going to come back in a few seconds with segment 3. But Demetria, thanks so much. This has been a great conversation.
This has been great.
You know, this is Britt Carpenter with Be a Voice on Usula Radio. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. This is Britt Carpenter with Be a Voice on Usula Radio. Thanks for sticking around. I am sitting here today with Demetria Green. Hey, Demetria.
Hey.
Hey. This has been awesome. I've enjoyed it. I haven't
Me
laughed
too.
as much in a while, and I like it. I like laughing.
I know.
And for those of you who don't know Demetria is the morning show co-anchor or co-host or both or whatever you want to look at it on the PHL 17 morning news and morning show from 4:55 a.m. through 9 a.m.
I love how you do 4:55. Like, I'm so grateful for you.
Well, you know what? That was Jenna.
Oh, it was?
It was. That was Jenna because I would say, so you go on at 4:55. I'm
Yeah.
like, so you're on at 5 a.m. She's
Nope.
like, 4:55 is our
4:55.
first little teaser thing, you
It
know?
is.
Well, that's sort of just like I have a friend who does radio and she does sports radio and she's got to do like her first teaser at like 12:50.
Okay.
You know, so she has to be there for 12:50. You know, so I get it. You know, but you know, 4:55 is when you go on, and that's
when
an
we go
early
on.
morning, especially if you're not a morning person.
Yes, it is.
You don't have far to drive though.
No, it's like 6 minutes from my
Yeah.
house.
Oh, hey, buddy. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. Yeah, so, and that's funny because Nick should be moving closer because I understand he has a tardiness problem sometimes.
Well, if we're going to be really honest, I do too. So, because at first he was coming in late and I was making sure that I was there early, but now it's kind of flip-flopped. So he's always there before me.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you have an excuse.
Exactly. And that's what I told him. So technically, he's still the latest one because, you know, I have to get 2 people ready. I like how you laugh at my jokes because Nick's told me, he's like, do not tell any of your jokes because they're not funny. So I was like, okay,
Is
I'm
that
not
what
going
he
to.
said?
Yeah, he was playing.
Probably not, no.
He was joking.
I'm just humoring it. Yeah. Tell Nick we'll get him back here. He
Yeah,
can
such
he
a
can
good
wear
guy.
his aw shucks shirt.
Oh,
you
my
know.
goodness.
I loved it. Perfect shirt. But so you believe in like engaging youth and talking to
course.
youth, which is great. So you're going to be a phenomenal mother with that. You
I'm
know.
excited.
I bet you are.
I am.
Yeah. Did you pick a name out, or are you going to wait till?
I picked a name, but I'm waiting only because I told my parents the name and they were not too excited about it. So I was like, I don't need this kind of pressure in my life. So I've been kind of waiting. And then sometimes I've slipped up. Like I've slipped up around a couple of people and I've said the name and they're really nice and they'll just keep it to themselves. But I'm just going to wait until she's born and then I will announce it.
Okay, I can respect that. I can
You're
respect
like, yeah.
I can
Because
get that.
I wouldn't say easily influenced, but a lot of times somebody would say, well, you don't want to have this name because of X, Y, and Z. And what if they get picked over because of their name? And that's a lot of pressure. So when we decided on this name, I'm like, this is it. And I don't want anybody to try to change my mind.
Oh my gosh, somebody should have went to my parents back then because they named me Britt.
I know a couple people named Britt.
Yeah, but in 1967, think about everything that you could rhyme with that was like maybe related to the female anatomy. That's what I was called growing up.
I could see that. I could definitely see it.
I still get phone calls for Brittany.
Oh.
Is she there? I'm like, no, she's not.
Click.
So names are important, but we are in 2020 coming up, and what's the due date?
January 10th.
January 10th.
Right around the corner.
Wow.
So close, but so far away.
So close. Are you going to be at the desk right up until that point?
My plan is to be up there, but I don't know. Because people keep saying, like, you should wait, take more time off, take, like, maybe 2 weeks off prior to the baby coming. But then I feel like if I take off that time, I'm just going to sit around the house just wondering, okay, when is she going to get here?
Right. Probably watching the show saying, I should be at work.
I should be there. So I'm not really sure yet. As of right now, I have a date in December 28th. They said that could be my the date that I would go for maternity leave, but we'll see.
Oh my gosh, this is such great stuff, and it's interesting how you're handling all this with such new change.
Yes,
all within a year and a half's time.
I know, it's a lot.
It's a ton. It's a ton. You went through some of the major stressors. You went through marriage. You went through moving.
Yes.
You went through a job change.
Right.
And now pregnancy.
Whoa. Time is just flying.
Oh
yes.
My gosh.
My life has been on steroids. It's just been going.
Maybe you should take those 2 weeks off.
I know, right? Try to do something.
Do something for yourself.
I know. I hear you. But like all my attention has been on the baby.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. I should do something for myself. Right.
You will. Maybe once, the in-laws or your mom come or whatever, you can take some time and you go do something for yourself.
Here's the baby. I'm gone.
Bye. Thanks. This is why you're here.
Exactly.
So is there any other causes that you're a fan of or anything that you believe in or support?
The other thing is mental health.
Okay.
So my mother, I'm not going to cry. So my mother, she suffers from several mental health disorders. And so that's like a big push. Mm-hmm. To make sure to try to remove that stigma. Because some people, like when they meet her and they're like, oh my gosh, she's great. Right. I love your mom. And then after hearing her story, they're like, okay, well, let me just steer a little clear of your mom. And, but she's a great woman. Mm-hmm. And, she can't help a lot of the things that she's been going through. And I would really like to remove that stigma from society.
And I think it's really hard. I mean, the other day I had a gentleman on my program and we talked about that. And we were talking about the fact of what, people who have mental health issues go through.
Right.
And not just that, what their families and loved ones go through. And to remove the stigma is so hard because people have this set mind from about what it's supposed to look like or what the person's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And that's really hard. And that's really amazing that you can talk freely about that and feel comfortable doing that.
Right.
Does that help you when you do that?
It does.
It does?
Because I don't bring it up often.
Okay.
I try not to bring it up too often. But when I do, because I can get going. I just get really, really passionate about it. But I try not to bring it up too much.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that.
Of course.
That's amazing of you. I mean, because, like I said, the stigma itself is people don't want to talk about stuff like that.
They don't want to. Exactly.
They're afraid to.
Right.
And if we don't have awareness, how do we know?
Exactly.
And we need more awareness out there. We need more people to, to speak up. And you do that. How do you handle that in the morning sometimes when you got to give such, bad news and then continue on with a cheery day?
Exactly. That's the hardest thing sometimes to transition. And we're not even taking into account things that you may be going through personally.
Right, right, because you're sort of supposed to be just, there. Who cares about your personal life?
Right.
You're there.
You have to be present in whatever you're doing. And that's what I try to do. Try to be present in every single story that I'm doing. It doesn't always work, but that's the goal. That's the mindset.
I love it. So are you cognizant of that at all times, like to try to be present?
I try to be.
But
sometimes you just can't help it.
No, absolutely.
like when they come in, they're cooking the food, and you're over here trying to talk about something else going on. You're like, I'm trying to concentrate, but I smell it. That's always
I can appreciate
hard.
that too.
Yeah,
I can definitely appreciate that too, because there's so much that goes along with it, and being in the public eye, you've got to be on at all times.
Yeah,
you really do, and you are. You know, you really are. You got it going on.
I feel
Yeah.
like right now I'm slumped all over and everything.
You're allowed to be. You're allowed to be. You're on radio. You know.
Radio. I like how you said that.
Well, that's because my dad always told me I had the perfect face for radio.
Oh, Daddy.
Hey, it worked. You know, here I sit. You know, it's cool. But you know, it's been for me. It's also been a very rewarding experience to be able to sit and do this and be able to talk to people like yourself, Demetria. Because genuinely, you have such amazing energy. You do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like news to me. I'm like, okay, I like you,
Can you
Britt.
tell my husband?
I know. That's not what he said yesterday. Wow, Britt, thank you. And it's
You're
great
welcome.
working with you too, because I know we've been like texting each other and like DMing on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
if that's what you call it.
Yeah,
I don't know what you call
DM and whatever. I'd say the same thing too. Messaging.
Yeah, messaging. And I was trying to sound cool by saying DMing, but I'm like, I don't know what it's called.
And I've enjoyed it because it's really gotten me to know you a little bit too, more so than just what I see on the screen.
Right.
You know, because in the morning I think that y'all could see me sitting in my room. You know, I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, oh, they can't see you, Britt. You know what?
Yeah.
Just go back to laying down.
Oh, well, we appreciate it. We feel your presence.
Oh, you're amazing. And I we'll move right on to that. But yeah, no, you have definitely set a bar in the morning, you guys. Your entire show.
Thank
Your
you.
entire show is an amazing family.
Yeah.
You are a diverse group of people.
We are.
Probably a group of people that probably would never come together for any other reason.
I know, right?
Than that. But it works.
It
It
does.
works. And Demetria, it's been a pleasure being able to sit back here and peel some layers back with you and everything, especially at this time at 8 months.
I know.
maybe at 8 months into having the baby, we'll bring you back and see how things have changed.
Now that will be fun.
That's it. We're putting it on
I'm
the
down.
calendar. Right on. Well, Demetria, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for
Thank
showing
you
up
for
today.
having me. And thank you for
got it.
everything that you do in the community.
Oh,
'Cause
please.
it's definitely appreciated.
Oh, I appreciate that. And thank you for your support with that.
Of course.
You are amazing. And people, if you are not watching in the mornings from 4:55 to 9 a.m. on
9
Channel
a.m.
17, PHL, watch the morning show. Demetria is on there with her family. It's amazing. Demetria Green, you're awesome. And follow you on Instagram.
Yes.
It's Demetria.
Demetria PHL 17.
Thank you, because I was thinking, okay.
I know. I couldn't remember. I just changed it. So
There
I
you
couldn't
go.
remember it either.
So give her a follow, and we'll be chatting with you real soon.
Sounds good.
Awesome. And the rest of you out there, thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, whatever it is you stand for, be a voice. This is Britt Carpenter on Usula Radio. Have a great rest of your day.